My name is Sharon Dalcio. 29 years old. I am a medical student at the University of Massachusetts in Worcester. I've been in Boston since about the age of 13 years old. Went to Boston College for my undergraduate degree, got a degree in history. My family is from Trinidad and Tobago. I have lived there for a few years when I was younger, but I've spent the most of my time in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. So what are some of the big differences between undergrad school and medical school?
I think the biggest difference was that with undergrad, the more time you spent, you would, the better results you would get. And with medical school education, there wasn't necessarily so much of a direct correlation with the time you spent studying and the results you get. You could spend all day studying, and you might get the same results as, you would get if you were to spend half the day studying. With undergrad, if you spent a good amount of hours on the subject material, you would usually, get the results you wanted. But for medical school, it was definitely how you studied, as opposed to how much you studied.
So what's the difference in how you studied in medical school? Did you study by yourself or?
Well, that's a great question. During my first few years of medical school, I definitely studied by myself. And I would definitely put long hours. I would, wake up in the morning and start studying at 8 or so. And sometimes I would finish at 12 a.m., 1 a.m.
The next day?
The next day. And I would take a break to eat. And that's about it. So I'd put long, hard hours in. That changed. That definitely changed, and towards the latter part of medical school, I definitely started to have more balance in my life. But I kind of had to learn the hard way.
So what did you learn that you had to do to work smarter rather than harder?
Okay, I had to breathe. No, really, I had to really step back, realize that I was overexerting myself, and I had to restore some amount of balance in my life. And that definitely meant incorporating some social activities, some hobbies that I used to like to do. But I think importantly, right along with that, just giving your brain a rest. It's an organ. It works hard and it needs rest just like the rest of your body does. So once I figured that out, once I kind of reached a bottom and figured it out and took a step back, and started giving my brain a rest and started to enjoy the activities that I used to love doing, I actually started to do much better in medical school.
Mm-hmm. In medical school, we encourage you to work in teams, to study in groups. Did you incorporate that?
I definitely did not do that. Like I said, I would study by myself for long periods of time. And I did start to, feed off my roommates and get together with other people, again, towards the latter years of medical school. And that definitely is invaluable because everyone thinks differently, everyone sees things differently. And so if you can share your own ideas and also get ideas from other people, it could only help you.
Okay. So what were some of the specific challenges you felt that you had?
Okay, sure. Well, there's a challenge of medical school. It's very rigorous. There's a huge amount of information that you have to know in a very small amount of time. And you have to know it well. You're going to be taking care of real life people. So you have to know this stuff well. But for me, there was a whole nother layer on top of that. I felt that one of the biggest challenges was that being a black individual in the United States at a medical school represented my whole race. If I didn't do well on a test, I felt, wow, this professor is going to think all black people don't do well on these tests. I also was concerned about what my classmates would think if I didn't do well. Anytime I didn't do well, I had that added layer of, okay, what does this mean for other people's perceptions of not only me, but of everyone that was black, everyone that I was a minority in medical school. And I could definitely say that was one of the most challenging times in my life was in medical school with these thoughts, and it's one of the most challenging things that I had to deal with as a black individual.
So how did you deal with those challenges?
Well, I didn't deal with it very well at the beginning. I would often seclude myself from other people. If I didn't do well on a test, I wouldn't want anyone to know about it because I wouldn't want others to think, hey, this is a black guy, he didn't do well on his test, that's what we expect of him. Growing up in this country for most of my life, expectations weren't high. So even if I was successful during high school, during college, I felt like I was the exception because there was never that high expectation for me or for my people. So this definitely weighed on me, and it weighed on me a lot. And how did I get over that? Well, I had to realize that I'm not the only one in medical school. Everyone, is challenged in medical school, even the best students. And kind of stepping out of the box and trying to get an outside perspective on that was very difficult. But the more I talked to other classmates that were like me, minorities, and other classmates that were not phenotypically like me, I realized, hey, other people are struggling too. I'm not the only one. And talking to friends, I had to actually talk to them to realize, hey, listen, they don't think of you any less. They don't think of you as representing your whole race. Now, that being said, there are definitely those classmates that do, and that's just a problem that we have in this country. There are definitely those that think that people like me aren't capable, and they have low expectations. That's a given, and that's just the reality. But there are a lot of people that don't think that way, and I had to come to the realization that I don't necessarily represent everyone that looks like me. I'm my own individual. And I had to realize that I'm an intelligent individual, and I got here on my merits.
So what were some of the other challenges you faced?
Some of the other challenges was learning how to study. As I had mentioned, it's about studying smart, not necessarily studying long. So the same formula is not going to work for everything. The same flashcards, the same charts. You really have to open your mind and figure out, what's going to work for each set of material. That was a really big challenge for me. But again, you had to kind of step back and really think about things to kind of come to that.
So, with all the changes you incorporated, what were the outcomes?
The outcomes were drastic to say the least. I did barely get through my first, I would say, 2.5 or so years of medical school. Very, very challenging. But after I kind of got knocked down to the bottom, because I'm a very prideful individual, so my pride took a hit. But after that happened, I did a rotation that really worked on my clinical skills and got me to think differently. And I did a lot of self-reflection. Things really turned around, and I ended up getting outstanding. From when this happened up until now, I've gotten outstandings, which is the highest at UMass. That's the highest grade you can get in a rotation, and I've gotten that since this happened. So for the past year and a few months or so.
Mm-hmm. What about your board scores?
Yeah. Well, I took my step 2, and it went up drastically from 212 to 228 on my step 2s. So I actually saw the results, and I experienced the results of my new way of thinking.
Okay. So what would your advice be to other young black men in medical school?
I think my biggest advice would be to put the pride aside, to put that feeling that you represent everyone that looks like you aside, to realize you're not in this alone, and to seek help, to talk to other people, to work with others, to establish balance in your life.